I grew up in Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, they actually tried to hide the microwave towers by actually painting them this sort of sick green color, like a palm tree. And they even added cheap plastic leaves, fronds on the top. It was really, truly sad. They were trying to disguise the fact that these were microwave towers. Now, why would anybody do that? Well, it's really simple. Now, imagine you're carrying the microwave transmitter receiver in your pocket, your cell phone. Relatively, that doesn't have that much power, but you can still cook an egg with it in about 20 minutes with two of them. We've talked about that before. But if you really want someone dead, and you really want them to die quite horribly, put a microwave tower up near their house, or more conveniently, find an apartment building that has microwave towers on the top of it, and rent them an apartment on the very top floor. Because the rate of cancer and the most horrifying diseases you can imagine for people living in buildings that have microwave towers on top of them, it's astronomical. The figures go right through the roof. They become literally charnel houses. I'm sorry, that's an old word. They literally become death camps. You're actually being cooked by microwave radiation in your apartment. You're actually living inside of a microwave oven that is now your apartment. You're being cooked. I saw a report of a news crew a few years back. They were trying to get out the word about how dangerous microwave towers are. And just to prove their point, they went to the house of the local owner of a company that put up microwave towers all over that particular city. And they informed the owner of this company. They knocked on his door at home and said they wanted to let him know that they were installing a microwave tower next to his own house. This guy started yelling, screaming, threatening to sue them if they put up a microwave tower anywhere near his house, anywhere in his neighborhood. Now bear in mind, this guy made his living by installing microwave towers all over town. Strange you didn't mind putting up a microwave tower next to your house, but when it came to his house, he went nuts, and they caught it on tape. Sadly, I don't have that footage anymore. I had to abandon most of my, well, pretty much everything I owned in the world in New Zealand when I had to flee from that nightmare. Maybe I'll find it on the web someday and we'll put it up. So, of course, this is just an inconvenience to you. You say to yourself, okay, I'll turn off my cell phone when I'm not using it. I'll heat my food on the stove top, with gas or electric. And, I'll watch where I live and I'll avoid, microwave towers. That's probably a good idea. But what about your children? What about your children in their own home? Now, I've had an interesting, well, as you know, I've had way too many interesting experiences in my life, and I wish they'd stop, frankly. But I had the same interesting experience twice on two different continents. Two different families, two different fathers. Both of them had 3 children, were married with 3 children. And both of them had wireless modems in their homes, and both of them had infant daughters. And both of them used the wireless modems in their homes and put the transmitter in the bedrooms of their infant daughters. Now, I experienced this twice. Once in Nashville, Tennessee, and once in Wellington, New Zealand. One family was black, one family was white. One family was Christian, I don't know what the other one were. But it was a mother and a father and 3 small children. Each had infant baby daughters. And each used wireless. And each put the wireless modem in their infant daughter's bedroom. And always at the head of her bed, her crib. And yes, it's me, so these things, keep happening, which is what happens. And when I talked to the 2 different fathers about this, they both told me, again, the exact same story. That when their families are at home, and they had some money, so they had, each of them had a country house, a little place out, I don't know, I never was there, but they had little vacation homes. But when they were at home, in their normal house, and they tried to put their infant daughters to bed in their own rooms, both of these little girls started to cry hysterically and to fight them. They never wanted to sleep in their own rooms, in their own home. where the wireless modem was at the head of their beds, their cribs. And yet, both fathers again told me exactly the same story when they went on holiday, when they went to their summer cabin, whatever it was, out in the mountains in the forest, where there was no wireless modem in the cabin. And they put, each of them, their infant daughters to bed in their bedrooms in their vacation house. Little girls were very happy. They went to bed, they were content, they were happy, they were peaceful, they slept through the night. In both these cases, both fathers had installed wireless modems, Wi-Fi, at the head of each of their daughters' beds. And each time I had the same reaction. I was horrified. And I tried to explain to both of these fathers that they were cooking the brains of their infant daughters. And you know what? Neither of them cared. They actually said to me it was too much trouble to run the cable into a different place in the house. I've never had children, but I think that cooking your children's brains with a microwave transmitter when they're babies is a bad thing. And you wonder why 98% of the human race are nothing but cattle. That two different fathers on two different continents in two different cultures, both making a lot of money, both, as far as I knew, were very well educated. They seemed quite intelligent. One was a friend of mine. He was a nice man, hard worker. And he was in IT. They couldn't be bothered to stop hurting their own children out of convenience. And of course, their daughters were small enough and new enough in the world that they could actually feel their brains being cooked. I couldn't believe it. It's the 98%. There's just nothing you can do. I did what I could. I tried to explain it. I did. And nothing. And at the end, you just have to walk away, which is what we're doing now with the village. We're just walking away because I've had this conversation in variations for the last 40 years. I just can't have it anymore. So you've got Wi-Fi cooking your children's brains at home. And how about at school, where wireless modems are everywhere? Well, except in England and Sweden and Russia, microwave modems have been outlawed in the schools. I'll take that back. I don't know about Russia, but I know in England and Sweden they've been outlawed for school use. In fact, it's against the law in Sweden to even build a school anywhere near high-tension power lines. And of course, why? Same reason. Energy. In this case, it is called electronic radiation. But it's a transmitter. And it's cooking us. And the younger you are, the easier it is to cook. The smaller you are, as you know, if you've ever tried to bake a potato, the smaller the potato, the quicker it cooks. So where are we safe? Well, it probably helps that you do not deliberately cook yourself. Just throw out the microwave oven. Just get rid of it. I mean, you can buy a convection oven, electrical oven. Convection ovens are wonderful, but they're expensive. Electrical ovens, toaster ovens are expensive and they get hot, but it's just heat at that point. It's not going to turn your food into poison. Turn off your cell phone, or at the very least carry it in your purse or your briefcase, and get one of those little headsets and plug in your cell phone when you have to talk on it and use the headset. That way you're not pressing a microwave transmitter against your skull. And your skull is actually acting as an antenna. It actually is helping cook your brains faster. It's like when you are boiling water on the stove and you cover the pot of water, it cooks faster. That's what's happening to your brains when you press a cell phone against your skull. And, try not to live near a microwave tower or a high-tension power line. But, in our civilization, it's really hard. But at the very least, don't help them to hurt you or to hurt your family. For all of us here at the 2012fad.com, this has been Charlie Bluehawk, wishing you a really good day and reminding you, please, keep Just keep that one good thought. The 2012 Fad is brought to you by Coffee and Blood, Love Letters Between the Dead, a series of 5 erotica horror novels about a fallen angel fighting his way back to regain his own soul, and how the CIA war against the human race. Their black magic captures and traps him in the body of a mind-controlled slave designed to hunt down and to kill their god, their Satan.